Again, we have a special interview we had with the head pastor of the International Gospel Church, Bishop Daniel Obinim. We'll play that to you later today or this morning. But scores of his followers yesterday, they besieged the Nima police station to demand the release of their pastor, who is in the grips of the police.
Daniel Obinim, who was arrested by the CID Tuesday for defrauding under false pretense, is said to have been kept overnight at the Nima police station. But late in the night, hundreds of his followers, together with some other pastors, including the founder and leader of the Heaven's Gate Ministry, Nicholas Osei, popularly known as Kum Chacha, stormed the Nima police station demanding his release. Earlier, Public Relations Officer of the Police CID, ASP Joseph Dakwa, told Joe News the controversial pastor was being investigated for defrauding a gentleman of some 11.6 million Ghana cedis.
This afternoon, Bishop Daniel Obinim was arrested in Tema and brought to the CID headquarters. Now, we received a complaint that somewhere in November 2015, the complainant said he gave an amount of 780,000 Ghana cedis to Okonfo Jakpata, who is at Mampong Kwanta near Kufuridua, for some rituals, either to bless it or other things. But the Okonfo could not do what he requested. So he further consulted Bishop Obinim for him to do the rituals and then also retrieve the money from the Okonfo. So according to the complainant, Bishop Obinim asked him to bring the remaining money. The complainant says the money is a family gold money. So he asked him to bring the remaining money, which he said is 11.6 Ghana million, 11.6 million Ghana cedis. So he gave this amount to Bishop Obinim for the rituals, but Bishop did not do what was expected of him, neither is he giving him back his money. So he reported to the CID headquarters. We have been looking for him. We invited him. We have not got him. So this afternoon he was arrested and brought to the CID headquarters for investigation to begin. Let me take this opportunity to explain. He's now a suspect. We have not charged him yet. Is there any we want to examine the facts to find out that do we have evidence enough to go to court? If in most cases, if we investigate and we don't have any evidence to go to court, we don't go to court. We have just commenced investigation, so we are interrogation and we have to invite witnesses. This case was reported directly at the CID headquarters, and then the other case, bordering on flagging in church, was reported at Tema, and that has to do with domestic violence. So there are two different cases. But I must say that once he's brought here, when we finish with this fraud investigation, he will be handed over to our DOFSU unit for that aspect, for the domestic violence investigation to commence.
And late into the night, Latif Idris reports there was near chaos at the Nima police station when some sympathizers of the embattled pastor clashed with the police over the security agency's refusal to release the man of God.
Some kind of confusion has just been sparked there, and in the background you can see lots of people moving towards that direction, and that is why the police are trying very hard to disperse of the followers who have gathered here in their numbers. Some followers, we do not know exactly what has triggered this kind of clashes, but that is the situation here at the Nima police station. Followers of Bishop Daniel Obinim, who have gathered here in their numbers, are now engaged in a conflict. The situation here is very tense. We have huge number of followers of the controversial preacher Bishop Daniel Obinim, who are gradually increasing in numbers here at the Nima police station, and the police are trying everything possible to disperse of these determined followers who have made a promise to spend the night here in solidarity of their preacher, Bishop Daniel Obinim, who is being kept behind bars here at the police station.
At the moment, we only have a lot of the church members and some of his executives who are here. And we are only trying to control the crowd to ensure that everything is safe.
Is it making your work difficult, the presence of his church members?
In a way, yes. We are trying to just get them to understand, but these are determined people who still want to have a word with him, but visiting time is over and we cannot allow that.
Someone determined to sleep overnight here?
We can see from their faces some are determined to do so if we should allow them, but I do not think we would allow that here.
So you would say that he will spend the night behind bars?
Oh, he's already behind bars. And he will spend the night behind bars until CID headquarters comes for him.
You know, he has 2 cases on his head. One for, assault, and then the other for defrauding, one up to the tune of 11.6 million Ghana cedis. Is he being kept in here for both charges or just on the fraud?
To the best of my knowledge, it is just the recent one on assault on 2 of his members that he is being kept here.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Well, in other news, the leadership of the Public Utility Workers Union says it has decided to embark on a 3-hour demonstration in all regional and district offices for the next 3 days.
This, the General Secretary of the union says, will start every morning from today, 24th of August at 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. each day till Friday, 26th of August. The union is protesting against a planned privatization of the Electricity Company of Ghana. Speaking at a press conference in Accra, the General Secretary of the Union, Michael Edumata Nyamiche, says a disciplined leadership and governance transformation method can turn around the fortunes of the ECG and not necessarily privatization.
And the privatization of the ECG forms part of the conditions that Ghana must meet before it can start accessing $500 million, which is part of a package from the Millennium Challenge Compact funds from government.
Buttress our resolve and determination to resist this privatization process, the leadership of the workers have decided that there will be a 3-hour demonstration in the regional and district offices of ECG every morning from tomorrow, Wednesday, 24th August, from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. up to Friday, 26th August. The red flags will continue to fly until further notice, and further activities will be carried out at appropriate times as we continue to monitor the developments in connection with this privatization process. In conclusion, we want to state once again that we are not asking GOG to abrogate the MCC Compact, but we are requesting the government of Ghana and the Millennium Challenge Corporation to review the compact. The private sector participation as a condition precedent and a trigger for entry into force of the compact should be modified to include pragmatic steps or measures that can bring efficiency and profitability to ECG using the disciplined leadership and governance transformation method that we have already talked about. We believe that a transformed ECG will be able to generate adequate funds to pay power producers and other suppliers to ensure smooth running of the sector, primarily to benefit Ghana and Ghanaians, and we are optimistic that this approach will bring a win-win situation to both Ghana government and the MCC, since the primary goal of the compact will be attained with the implementation of the alternatives that we have outlined.
And of course, this very channel is your election headquarters, and you want to talk to us about any other thing concerning the election, you want to send us any message on our interactive platforms, the hashtag is ElectionHQ. Now, the Electoral Commission, in deciding what constitutes overvoting at a particular polling station, will now match the number of votes cast against the number of voters verified on the voting day in question, and no longer the number of voters on the register as those there.
Well, the new position of the EC should resolve the controversy which was played out at the Supreme Court during the landmark election petition. The EC's chairperson, Charlotte Osei, at an encounter with news editors, also dismissed suggestions the introduction of the electronic results transmission system for the 2016 elections is irrelevant, saying it will provide another layer of integrity for the polls. Raymond Akwa was there and came through with this report.
The NPP's 2016 campaign manager, Peter McMenu, who raised concerns about the process, had said the electronic transmission failed in other countries including Kenya, Ecuador and Mexico, hence should not be adopted in Ghana. But speaking at a forum for editors, Madam Osei defended the EC's decision to resort to e-transmission, saying the move forms part of the electoral reforms proposed after the 2012 elections.
But the main thing was to create a parallel tabulation system in addition to the manual one. We were not doing away with the manual collation system because of all the integrity measures in there. The ERTS was to be an additional set of results so that we can compare, and if there's any discrepancy, we can figure it out. But the results from the electronic system are provisional. It is only the results from the manual one which is final. So it was not meant to replace the current results collation system that we have.
The EC chairperson also said anyone desiring to serve the Electoral Commission in the capacity of an electoral officer must have a higher educational background, and that plans are far advanced to engage lawyers and accountants at the various collation centers.
The Commission approves is to have at the constituency collation centers members of the Ghana Bar and the Institute of Chartered Accountants. When you are tallying in the collation process to remove errors, we think it may be beneficial to have another layer of checks. So you would have the lawyers checking that the forms are properly filled, properly signed off, and then you'd have the accountants also making sure that, as a lawyer, I don't think we're very good at counting. We'll have the accountants also check and make sure that the numbers have been added up properly. It's just another layer of checks, which brings another layer of integrity into the process, so that by the time we do the final tallying, we're all comfortable that the processes prior to that have been properly conducted and that the elections, the results actually reflect the will of the people of Ghana.
Touching on overvoting, the EC boss said the number of persons on the register is no longer tied to the issue of overvoting. This, according to her, is to ensure the system is more efficient.
That the definition of overvoting that the EC would apply would be where the number of valid votes in the box exceeds the number of people who were verified to vote. So what we're actually doing closes that gap, because it ensures that if you have 900 people on a polling station and only 820 came to vote, you can't pad it by 80, because the results are not tied to the number of people who are on the register, but to the number of people who have been verified to vote.
Well, the capital city, Accra, fast developing, it is increasingly becoming difficult to find a modern amusement park in a serene environment.
Amusement and eco parks provide a conducive environment for parents and children to relax. Sadly, Accra cannot boast of yet of an eco park that has some beautiful but rare wildlife. The few amusement parks in Accra are also fast deteriorating. Maxwell Agbagba puts the spotlight on the F1 Southern Children's Park in Accra and the Tunga Children's Park in Dansoman. He comes through with a report on how some children are risking their lives playing on the dangerous rusty metals and what the future holds for amusement and eco parks in Ghana.
So last year, Ghana could not boast of a state-of-the-art amusement park. The commissioning of the 42,000 meters Rattray Park brought joy to residents of the Ashanti region. The greenery at the park is refreshing and relaxing. Sadly, some of Accra's attractive parks are fast losing their alluring beauty. Once upon a time, the Fua Sutherland Children's Park used to be the place to go to on weekends and on public holidays. Now, the place is in a terrible state. If you come here, there are a lot of signs warning children to stay away from the many damaged and deplorable states of merry-go-rounds and skydivers that we have around here. Nothing seems to be working. The grasses that you see here are not grasses. They are overgrown weeds. In this train is used to rapture kids into a state of hilarity anytime they have a jolly ride in here. It is no longer the case. Here, the blood-tasty parts are badly exposed, making it very dangerous for anybody to sit on this train. Apart from the non-functional train, the rail line is also covered by weeds. Wooden slabs are also rotten. The traffic light is also in the same sordid state. The children's park is no longer child-friendly. A screaming warning sign scribbled with black paint warns patrons to go back. Our curiosity would not allow us. What we saw beyond the warning sign were rusty seesaws, swings, and merry-go-rounds left to rot in the mini bush. Perhaps the seesaws here are yet to catch the eye of some unscrupulous scrap dealers. Of the trees are ready to be used for firewood. The merry-go-round would not even go round. It is stuck as its squeaky sound cries for lubricants. The weeds have also grown tall, making it a haven for dangerous animals. A section of the park is also now a refuse dump. The insanitary conditions outside too is evident. The beautiful skydiver here only adds to the countless non-functional things at the park. With the street lights here damaged, the park is poorly lit. Interestingly, on a hot Sunday afternoon, the usual excitement at the park on weekends and public holidays is conspicuously missing. The park is dead silent. The only thing that makes the children's park bounce back to life are events. From washrooms to seesaws, nothing seems to be working here. The situation here at the Tunga Children's Park is not different, but for these children playing on their dangerous and rusty seesaws, the place would see no activity too. These dirty racks are used in holding in place the only swing at the Tunga Children's Park. Sanitation is also not the best. Little Rachel Eduboahin knows the danger of playing at the park, but she says she cannot stop visiting the place.
Some of the seesaws are spoiled, and sometimes I get hit.
Sometimes you get hit. You get hit, so why do you still come here?
Because it's nice to play here.
If you have the opportunity to tell government something, what would you tell them to do about this place?
That they should renew the place and fix the seesaws so that we can play safely.
Strongly connected to the issue of amusement parks in Accra is also the challenge of eco parks with amazing wildlife. The World Tourism Organization has noted that ecotourism accounts for more than 25% of total international travels annually. The Nairobi National Park and Kakum Parks are typical examples of such a success story. Patrons of the Accra Zoo, which is now located in the Achimota Forest, want to see more wildlife. Like they say in the WWE, do not try this stunt at home. But hold on, this is a defunct royal python. We met some kids here from Accra to the Achimota Forest, where the new Accra Zoo is located. Some kids are here already and they are calling for more zebras. They want to see more giraffes and all the beautiful animals that they see on TV. A guard at the zoo who refuses to speak on camera says the activities of poachers have made operations difficult. The road leading to the zoo is also in a deplorable state. Some part of it is also used as a refuse dump. Some churches also use some part of the Achimota Forest as prayer grounds. We join them for one of their prayer sessions.
Thank you, O Lord Jesus Christ. We thank you, O Lord. Oh, we thank you, O Jesus.
Pastor Maurice Appiah tells us why he chooses to pray in the Achimota Forest where the Accra Zoo is located.
I do normally come here for one or two other reasons. I come here to pray because of the area and then the weather also. Like the place is so quiet and the place is good for prayer.
because normally when you come here, you come and meet so many people praying here. It's also ginger your spirit for you to pray. And sometimes too, when I come here, I do meet a lot of pastors here that we all come together and pray. So I do choose here to pray because of the quietness in this area and the people that they are praying here. That is why I used to come here to.
The Achimota Forest used to be a wonderful home for all the lovely creatures that you can ever imagine. It used to be the home of all the rare species. With about 1/3 of the forest currently encroached, it is difficult to find even the commonest of species. The Forestry Commission, together with the government of Ghana, they have taken a decision. Now the decision is to change this whole forest into an eco-tourism destination. When that is completed, we're going to have an orchard here. We're also going to have a spiritual enclave. We would also have an eco-commercial tourism place where people from all walks of life can come and relax from the concrete jungles of the capital city. ICANN Capital is the one spearheading this through a public-private partnership. Let's go and have an interaction with the Executive Secretary of the Forestry Commission.
I think from my discussion with the private partners and all concerned, I think it's not going to be a project that will end as people try to ask or perceive. It's going to be a lifelong project. I mean, if you go to our sister countries who have some of these projects, you still find out that they keep developing even though they started 1,500 years ago. What the question probably should be is, when are we going to open this place to the public? And I think latest in 2-3 years' time, it should be open to the public too.
I mean, there are people who live very close to the forest, unlike the Molly National Park, where communities are a bit secluded, from the park. What is going to happen in terms of protection of this wildlife, in terms of residents who live here, so that will not pose any danger to them?
I think all that will be taken into consideration in designing the park, but definitely these will be very, very harmless animals. And animals generally are harmless. What is dangerous is when the interaction between us and the animals are not managed properly or appropriately. So the public will also be educated as to how to deal with the introduction of these animals, and then also create a situation where the public's interest in the park will also not endanger or allow the animals to behave in a certain way.
As plans are far advanced for the construction of an Accra Eco Park, which will boast of wildlife and amusement parks, we can only hope that it will not suffer the same fate as other public facilities. For Joy News, Maxwell Agbagba.
And that's it. And Maxwell Agbagba, that great news there. Only say me home, but I'm for BH. Amusement park.
That's what they are doing in the parks, the abandoned parks.
But I think if we had time, we would just call him for 5 minutes and ask him what may have interested him to do this very story.
Yeah.
And really, we don't have amusement parks.
Yeah.
The whole of Ghana, the over $4 million something one retreat park in Kumasi is the best one we can ever have. And I think that kudos to whoever brought that very idea for that to be built in Kumasi.
I was a bit surprised that in Tunga there's supposed to be a park, because I went to Dansuman for GSS and I never heard of a park.
Your GSS time was Kolo period. I am sure it's now existing.
Yeah?
Did he show it?
I doubt.
I
don't think so.
But we hope that as we conceive some of these ideas, we'll be able to put them together, erect some of these structures for the whole of the younger generation to benefit.
If you live in Kumasi, if you are in Damongo, be excited. You guys have parks. You've got places to go. We're here in Accra, stuffed and starved.
Now, skyscrapers up and down.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
I guess it goes with development. And that'll be it for the news this morning. You want to get interactive, please make sure you do so. On Facebook, we have a very good running page there. Join us on TV is the page's name. And right now, we're streaming live on our YouTube channel, My Joy Online.
Up next, we've got the newspapers. You're watching the AM show. Please do stay with us.